Hey everybody, this is Libby DeLucian with Organize It. Organize It is the most organized cleaning company in the world. We are your go-to experts in professional organizing and residential cleaning. With over 8 years of experience, we specialize in transforming your home and business. On this blog, we're going to talk about a topic that many of us struggle with, and that is procrastination. And what is it, and how can we overcome procrastination? So procrastination gets to us whether we need to clean our house, organize it, work on our business, take care of something. Procrastination paralyzes us from doing those things that we need to get done. We want to talk about it in the blog today. Overcoming procrastination, right? It's a path to increased productivity and quality of life. We want to give you some tips on how to overcome that procrastination, but also we want to dive into it. So procrastination is a common challenge that many of us face in our day-to-day life. It's that feeling of putting off a task until, it's the last minute. We get full of anxiety, but also then that anxiety excites us and fuels us. Many of us entrepreneurs, if you're an entrepreneur, we're adrenaline junkies. Like we love to work under pressure like that. But at the same time, it can fill us full of anxiety and guilt if we don't get it done, that we've kept putting it off. We want to really if you're seeking for a really organized and productive life, we got to conquer this procrastination. We have to learn how to overcome it. And I'm going to explore some of that in today's video on overcoming it. Many of us find ourselves motivated by guilt, as we struggle to constantly find the motivation needed to tackle our everyday task. And we've heard it all before, that saying of, eat the frog first. And I don't know, I know where it came from, but I find it so ironic, a frog. But it's to do those hard things first, but we're demotivated in doing them because they're the hard. Instead of being driven by a sense of purpose and determination, we often work fueled by negative motivation, by deadlines, by that sense of, anxiety that then does the opposite to us. This is a cycle that we find that can really be detrimental to our personal and professional lives. Well, here at Organize It, we believe that taking proactive steps to combat procrastination in anything, whether it's cleaning your house, your office, getting organized, we have to really put proactive steps into place. And that's what we want to do here for you at Organize It. So this way, you can really make an anti-plan, an anti-procrastination plan. And you're like, what do you mean by that? Well, we want you to make an anti-procrastination plan, and I'm going to give you some steps. And this is going to be different for everybody because we all work differently. Like some of us need to write stuff down. Some of us need to use apps or technology. You have to find what works for you and what you're going to use and be realistic in those tools. Don't do something that you've never done before and just try to go all in. It's baby steps into that. So, we need to really look at why we're doing this. So, why are we doing this? Our habits we have habits of like endlessly scrolling through social media, getting addicted to that scrolling or those social media or those Facebook groups. But procrastination often serves as an emotion regulation problem. It stems from a problem of not being able to regulate those emotions. Because again, the highs, the anxiety, fueled by deadlines. I personally work better under a deadline. But when when you prioritize managing those negative moods, you can really control that by completing the tasks. So, how do we do that? We want to recognize that the truth in the first step really is overcoming it. How do you overcome it? Well, we have to address procrastination effectively. It's crucial to identify really what procrastination step or type you have. Are you over focused? Are you over hyperactive? What are your procrastination tendencies? And there's a lot of things that you can look at online when it comes to these tendencies. But first, I want to just give you a handful of tips to help you combat it. So if you really think about it, you can figure out, like, are you over focused? Is it, are you are you hyperactive? Is it a little bit of ADD or ADHD? To really figure out, why am I procrastinating? Like, we all hate doing things, but some of us get them done and some of us don't. We all have the same amount of time in a day. A few tips: set clear goals, define your tasks and objectives clearly. And one of the things I found with goals is we set these like giant goals, and then we're demotivated and procrastination sits in because they seem so large. Again, it's regulating your emotion. They seem too big, they seem too distant, too far away. So set goals that are very clear, but also baby steps within a large goal, right? If my goal is like one day is to like buy a Maserati, live in a beach house, I mean, those are huge. But what are the baby steps that I have to take to get there? What are the hard things that have to be accomplished to get that result? And breaking it down in a smaller, more digestible way is actually a skill set to be able to write these goals this way. I couldn't do it at first. We practice EOS in our companies, and that was one of the things that taught me how to break my big goals down into smaller goals. Very important that you want to make sure you're setting clear goals, but also, how many times have we written down a to-do or a goal and we don't even remember exactly what it was? Clearly defined. And then prioritize tasks. Focus on high priority tasks first. Typically, this is the stuff that you don't like to do. Do them first. Do the hard things first. Determine what needs immediate action and tackle those tasks before the less important. The actual less important might actually completely disappear if we tackle the important ones first. Break down tasks. Divide larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps. And I kind of covered that in the goals, but make them less daunting and more achievable. Every time we cross something off that list, it's the action of crossing it off that actually motivates us, right? It actually is motivating us instead of paralyzing us with procrastination because it's just too much to do in one step. Create a schedule. And I am a big fan of the perfect week. I've taught this in other videos, but create a schedule. Establish a daily or weekly schedule. I call it mine the perfect week. It's a Dan Martell reference. But create a schedule. Allocate your times, blocks, slots, whatever you want to call it, to different tasks. Stick to your schedule closely. As close as you can. But the great thing about creating a schedule, and a lot of people want to push back on this, and it's because they're like, oh, well, it won't let me be creative and free. It's the opposite. By getting your things done, you'll have more time for creative. You'll have more time to get things done outside of the normal stuff. So by creating that schedule, also, if you fall off the wagon, right? Say if the day's interrupted, something happens. When I go back, I know exactly where I'm supposed to pick up at. I know exactly where I'm supposed to be, instead of just wandering around all day doing things. And then the end of the day comes and we're like, what did I accomplish? And minimize distractions. This is huge. Turn off notifications. I have all my notifications off. If you've ever tried to call me, now you know why I don't answer the phone. Minimize. Know what you suck at. Like, know what you're horrible at. Know what distracts you, and be honest with yourself and eliminate those distractions, because you want to really create the, kind of a distraction-free zone. Also, look at your workspace, like your desk, your home. Is it overstimulating? right? You need a clutter-free workspace, and you need to stay away from time-wasting things, apps, social media, websites. So there are a few things to look here, but you need to figure out what is your distraction and then minimize it. Set deadlines to establish realistic deadlines for your tasks. Even if you don't know exactly how long it's going to take, set a deadline. It's okay. It's going to help you stay on pace. Sometimes we don't know how long it's going to take us to do something, but if we give ourselves all day, we're going to take all day, right? It's the law of expansion. If I have 5 minutes to do an hour task, I could probably get it done in 5 minutes. It wouldn't be perfect, but done is better than perfect. Reward yourself. This is a big one that many people do not do, especially business owners. Celebrate the small wins. When you cross something off, take a break, get a snack, have a glass of wine, as long as it's in the afternoon. It's positive reinforcements that motivate you to keep going. Accountability partners. This is huge. Accountability buddies. You need to share your goals with someone that lifts you up and says, great job. Not like we see that in Facebook groups. Like I'm in a handful of Facebook groups, but some of them are absolutely horrible. If you were to ask a question or say something, by the way people respond, and you need to make sure that you are putting people around you that are your cheerleaders, that hold you accountable, and that are there that you can share your small wins with. Have accountability partners. And then lastly, practice self-compassion. It's okay to mess up. Like, it's okay to not finish that task, or we didn't reach the goal, but we got further than we would have if we didn't have a goal. So don't be too hard on yourself. You're going to slip up occasionally. It's okay. Don't throw in the towel. Doing this, managing procrastination is fluid. It's not a static thing. It changes as you change. Your habits are going to change. The things you use, the technologies you use may evolve and change. You may start with writing a list, and then you're like, you know what? I never have that list. I'm going to put it on my phone. Or you may say, I have it on my phone, but I never look at it. I need to write it down. Have compassion for yourself to be okay with changing it as you learn and grow. Mistakes are okay. Learn from them and move forward. Hopefully these tips help. Implementing these tips can help us overcome procrastination and be more productive in your personal and professional life. Procrastination is a significant barrier to achieving our goals and really maintaining well-organized life and even health. Why? We procrastinate when we want to go to the gym or work out. But by acknowledging that guilt, acknowledging that you understand how it impacts, acknowledging the addiction you have to what's causing the procrastination. It could be a slight addiction to social media, to Netflix, to doing things that maybe are taking up our time. Identifying them is really the first step. And then you can really have and take meaningful steps forward to overcoming these challenges. With that determination and the right strategy, you can improve the quality of your life and move closer to achieving those goals, whether they're goals of how you want your home to run, look, and feel, or even your business. Again, I'm Libby with Organize It, and we are the most organized cleaning company in the world.